what's up, my Vamp Army? It's your boy, the Vampire King himself, London VK Alucard, and we're doing a reaction. Oh, we're doing a reaction to the Vampire Masquerade Bloodlines 2 extended gameplay. I think this is supposed to be. They said that this is supposed to be coming out this year, but I think it was supposed to come out. If I'm correct, I think it's supposed to come out this month, but I haven't gotten no word about it. But let's watch it. It's 33 minutes. Let's get it. Oh, okay. Get you some popcorn. Let's get it. Warnings.
Hello everyone, we're very excited to show you gameplay of Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 today. I'm Josh, the community manager for the channel.
If you didn't see my Vampire Masquerade Swan Song, definitely watch that. I'll put it in the description and in the link in below too, in one of my tab bars, because that's going to be, I believe, that way. Either that way or this way. I bought the... What did I do with it? I bought the book. Don't know what to do with the book. I bought the book, the Vampire book. Okay, if y'all can see that, yep. Go back. I bought the complete edition, the book, and it tells you like all the clues and the Easter egg hunts in it. So I might replay the Vampire Masquerade again and do some of these, because it tells you a lot in here that going into it I didn't know about it. And that's my vampire waifu, Lewis. And then if y'all didn't check her out, I got her on I put her in a 2K, I think it was 2K23, W2K23 or 22. One of them two. I did a whole My Rise with her, and I did a My Rise with my guy too, your boy London Alucard. And I'll put that in the link description too. Definitely check it out. Like, I even got a phone case with her on it too. Look at that, my wife.
Chinese room.
Hi, I'm Alex. I'm Project.
I'll be doing and also I gotta stopping it. I'll be doing a review for if y'all haven't. It's on Netflix. It's called The Vampire Nocturnal. It's a spinoff from the Vampire or from the Castlevania. I'll be doing a review on this channel. React with Alucard. I'll be doing reviews on here, but I might put the reviews on both channels. I haven't thought about it yet.
Creative director on Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2.
Bloodlines 2 is
I know this is first person.
action
I'm not really
RPG
first person game
where you get to embody a elder vampire called Fire. Could you tell us what clan we're going to be playing as today?
Yeah, so today we're going to be playing as Bruja. And they have supernatural speed and strength, but they're also known to sometimes lose their temper. So when we go through the dialogue trees, we'll be picking the more aggressive and intimidating options.
Great. And could you tell us the context for the mission that we're about to see?
Yes, so it's one of the early missions where Fire is now established in Seattle. She's made inroads with the court, and she's investigating the mark on her hand, which has been holding back her powers. And she's got a tip off that a vampire called Willem, Nosferatu.
Nosferatu. Oh yeah, we're getting a Nosferatu movie too coming out.
She's tracked him down to his warehouse and is about to confront him.
Great. Without further ado, let's take a look.
Fine, William.
I do not like this.
All those marked freaks were waiting outside.
And yet none appear to have entered. Why track Willem to this place and then refrain from attack?
So it looked like it plays like the same style of the Vampire Masquerade Swan Song. The only difference is, I'm hoping they got the option when you can do first person and third person. I gotta see when this comes out, man.
How does anyone find anything in a mess like this?
Perhaps to him this is an orderly chaos. Nosferatu trade in secrets. This is
And it's
merely
crazy,
another way to
Nosferatu
hide
is
them.
in Swan Song too.
I recognize this song from before I slept.
Yeah, it's old school for sure.
We may be nearing the end of our search.
Oh, they don't have a release date yet.
That must be him.
It just says 2024. Oh, it's supposed to come out in the
Before I
fall
could
of
even finish
2024.
the song.
So that's probably
How
like
cruel.
July,
Am I interrupting?
October. It would be cool for them to do it in October.
It's you. The gnome.
Willem, I take it. You had some interesting guests outside. Expecting trouble?
That depends. Why are you here?
Polly tells me you
My man,
keep the
why
court's
you here?
secrets and its histories. Earlier tonight, another kindred by the name of Isabella used this mark to sap my power. Do you know anything about it?
No. All I had to do was keep my head down for just a few more nights.
He's hiding something.
Tell me, Willem, what rumors have you heard about me?
That you were there in Cairo. They called you the Slayer.
I have been many things to many
Slayer.
people. And what will I be to you, Willem? And to this lonely, forgotten warehouse?
You're exactly what he said you'd be. I guess that makes it easier.
Makes what easier?
What happens next? Now I have to do what he told me.
What? Damn, boy.
What the hell just happened?
Do what he told me? Willem knows something. We have to find him.
Oh man, I wish this. I'm
He
hoping
made
they
the
have
mark
third
bleed.
person on this, man.
He knows how to use it against me.
Hives can't just teleport people. That's not normal.
Ooh, that's cool. Speed.
What the?
An illusion.
So they're playing with you. Oh, that was nice.
Damn it, help!
Oh, I'm like, where the hell are they? Ooh! Oh, girls, this is- Damn! Okay, I'm locked in. I'm locked in. So I want to know if you can take their weapons from them. Oh, so that was him, basically with an illusion. So he basically, so he's like a banshee.
At least we know he is here. Somewhere.
Them statues just moved, didn't they? I think they just moved.
Fuck that.
Oh, that's crazy. He got all that type of power? Oh, so it makes you basically do it over again, but now they're like more wooden down. So I want to know if you can go stealthy. And you can grab him. Oh, that's lit. Oh, that's probably him. Nope. I was... Damn. Freeze time, nice. Oh, is that him? That's him. So maybe you, I guess, maybe you have to.
Hey, it's me. Got a situation. Yeah, the nomad of all licks. Yeah, she's not waking up. I made sure of that. But everything will last just a few more nights, right? Like you said. Okay. Yeah, I still think it was best. Both. But she's all alone. I wish I could.
Can't just stay here, right? How do we get out?
Hush.
There
I
she
cannot hear myself think.
still a picture though.
He is using everything he has to hold on.
So how would you draw him out?
She loves him. distracted. It's just this Junior. With the war, he's...
Oh, so if you destroy the music, that's probably his way, how he got her hypnotized.
I'm sorry, it's gonna be another late one. Guessed I'd hear from you. Word is Campbell's out. No use putting it off. I gotta do this. It's the last dance floor, my love. Time to say goodbye.
Oh, got him.
But how? I had you under eye. It doesn't matter. Nothing matters.
Talk him down, Fire. Fast.
Disarm this bomb. As your elder, I command it.
I can't. You gotta understand.
Unless you would rather I ripped it from your skeleton and your flesh with it.
Please, please, it's not up to me. They said I could see my family again.
The memories.
They said if I cut off the cord, if I took away that little black book, all their secrets, it would cause the chaos he needed to strike, and I'd be free.
Who is this he?
The Malkavian. The gardener.
The gardener.
But now you got the truth. You know what that means, right?
Fire, you're losing him.
Listen to me, you useless, spineless, molten tumor.
I don't think
this gardener sold you a lie. Your family will not want to see you. If they even still live.
Jeez, Fire.
You are not the man they knew. To them, you are a monster. Find some other dream to cling to. But do not destroy yourself for another's game.
You don't understand. They're listening.
He was on a call the whole time.
Willem.
I don't know what to do. Tell me what to do. Oh no.
It's about to blow up.
Thank you for watching. We're back, and I'm sure you have a lot of questions, so I'm going to do a Q&A with Alex to talk about what
I would
we
have
just
definitely
saw.
talked him down. You would
could you explain the gameplay
talk
that
him
we just saw?
down.
I mean, it's early enough in the game that there isn't too many spoilers in it, which was definitely good, but it also showed a good variety of the different gameplay. We started with some exploration, which allows everyone to sort of soak in the atmosphere. Then we have some stalking in there, which moved to brawling, as it will with the Bruja. Maybe if we'd been Banu Haqim, we would have taken that whole warehouse out using stealth. And then moving...
So you can take them all out
it starts
stealth.
to get a bit trippier. There are visions, there's influence of a Malkavian vampire in there, working through Willem. So we move more to what we call our vampire detective gameplay. So non-combat gameplay, very exploration.
Yeah, like the Vampire Masquerade
about you having to deduce, look for clues to solve ultimately the puzzle and escape Willem's trap.
So zooming out, can you tell us about where our story in Seattle starts?
Yeah, it starts with you wake up in a derelict apartment building, covered in blood, having been essentially in vampire hibernation for 100 years. Woo! So you wake up with questions. And as soon as you move through that warehouse, it becomes apparent you're not alone. Fire has a voice in her head. Fabian. Fabian is another vampire. At this stage, I can't explain why their voice is in Fire's head, but it's very much to do with the markings that are all over her body. When she went into hibernation, she was in the Middle East, and she's woken up 100 years later in America, and clearly someone's been messing with her while she's asleep. So she's got questions and she's quite annoyed. That sort of is our initial drive, is trying to figure out what happened to her and how to undo it and how to get this voice out of my head, because Fire enjoys her solitary time. She does not want to share her head with another vampire.
We've had to translate a tabletop pen and paper game into action, and a big part of what a vampire is a bloodsucker. So we really wanted to focus on feeding. Could you tell us about how feeding works in combat specifically?
Sure. I mean, there's two kinds of feeding across the game in general. There's combat feeding and social feeding. I think we'll talk about social feeding on a later video. But yes, combat feeding you're using within a combat encounter like this for two reasons. One, it's the main way to get health. So if you're getting beaten up, too many strikes against you, then you probably need to retreat and go and feed on someone weaker in the encounter. But also to power your abilities. Feeding is essentially a reward for stalking or brawling successfully. You get an enemy to low health, there's a window where you can feed on them. So try not to hit them again or they'll die. And if you can embrace that, you'll get one of the blood pips for each of your abilities. So these are little pips below each abilities will fill. If you can fill all of the pips for an ability, then you can use it and rinse repeat, because that will then allow you to do more feeds, which allow you to charge them again. And if played really well, the abilities synergize together and allow you to do chains. And the Brew Heart is designed around that sort of staying in the fight, chaining fight to fight to fight, and keeping combat in flow.
And the brawling as well is something that we wanted to feel very visceral, very fast-paced. How have we achieved that?
Yeah, well, and a key word is immersive. So the control scheme is quite intuitive. I really love that pulling the triggers is feed, because that's like two fangs sinking them in. But the basic sort of actions that Fire has. She
I can see that.
Punch. She can do a heavy strike, which allows her to knock people back, which is very useful for the Brew Heart. They can use it to sort of juggle enemies. If they're overwhelmed, they can go back and get enemies away from them.
Right.
The defensive move she has is dashing, which you'll have seen there's one point in the gameplay where if you dash towards an enemy as they strike and you time it right, it counters it. But then Fire also has telekinesis, which isn't usual for a vampire to have, but there's a story behind that, and specifically why Fire as an elder has it. But yes, when stalking, use telekinesis to pick up a bottle, distract an enemy, but you can use it to literally pull the enemies towards you. So you can use heavy strikes to push away, and telekinesis to pull towards you, giving you a lot of control over the enemies and how you're encountering them. So that Bruges very much wants to control the sort of dance of combat.
So the mannequins work a little differently from the other enemies that we saw. Could you tell us about those illusions?
Sure. I mean, everything that we saw really is an illusion from when Willem first screamed at the player. But the initial enemies do fight more like typical enemies. The only thing that's different about them is the fact that they shatter to sort of glass when they're killed. But if we get deeper into Willem's sort of maze, essentially, his powers are getting weaker, he's getting more desperate. So in the first phase, he's able to create believable, they're ghouls and vampires that we're fighting there. So the ones with a beating heart, they're ghouls, and the ones that are just black silhouettes, they are vampires. Whereas when we move to the mannequins, he isn't able to create illusions of such quality, and he's also getting desperate. And what better to fight a vampire with than an enemy that has no blood? So the mannequins are made of solid wood. So you notice in the playthrough there, we're being very tactical about our abilities because we have no way to recharge them. We can't get the blood back. So yeah, there's a really cool moment where kites a load of them up onto the gangway up above and then charges through and gets maximum effect. And this was to create a sort of peak combat challenge for that mission, because while what we've shown there, that sort of 15 minutes, that's the end of the mission. The players have been across Seattle, going other places. So we wanted to give a peak. And the actual Willem encounter itself, which is after, is more cerebral. So we wanted to peak the combat so then you could shift to this more cerebral sort of puzzle boss encounter with Willem trying to defeat his illusions. So yeah, they're a very unique enemy in the game. They only occur there in the game, and they have that unique mechanic of they cannot be fed on, which makes, really changes up the pace of how you play.
I'll be
So
right
the
back.
3 abilities that we saw include the kind of active ones and then the rewards for the feeding. How do they all play into each other and the combat, and how do you use them?
Yeah, so for that video we've equipped 2 of the Bruja abilities. There are more abilities, but we just wanted to show off those 2. And then we have the passive, which you get when you select the clan. So each clan has their own feed passive. So every single time they feed, they get some benefit that reflects their clan's playstyle. So the Bruja, we call it sort of a berserk mode. They get flushed with sort of aggression. Their arms literally glow. Their strikes do more damage and more knockback and things like that. So you'll notice points where, even though we feed on people, maybe you'll see the feed flash up on another person, but we've already committed to the strike, and we're doing more damage, so we kill them. So feeding actually is another sort of skillful reward. It's another part of the dance that's very important.
As a Bruja, I suppose there's a role-playing element there, right? Because they are passionate, maybe have a bit of a temper, and that's why we picked the intimidating options here. So I was wondering what kind of role-play opportunities that gives us in the dialogues.
Yeah, so picking intimidating options, the result very much depends on who you're talking to. I mean, there are certain characters, say like Lou, who will, meet fire. Right, they will equally become as angry. That can be a good way to find out what they're hiding, right? Provoke them and get them to talk. There are others who could clam up. Tolly would probably laugh at you and dismiss it and sort of see through the bravado. But ultimately, it will affect your relationships with them over the long term. They'll get a feel for you. And also the relationship with Fabian. So Fabian is a vampire who is in our head for mysterious reasons. They're with us for the whole ride. And they are meeting, judging you and fire based on what you're choosing. So if you're very aggressive all of the time, that's who you are to them. And that's the nearest thing we have in the game to like a true, single judgment of who you were as a player is Fabian. Whereas other characters, you might behave differently to each other, put on different masks, because it is the Masquerade. Different masks of how you talk and interact with each of them. Vampires rarely show their true selves, so it's totally viable for the player, if they wish, to hide their true selves as well.
The supernatural heightened senses give us clues to solve this puzzle that only a vampire can solve. What sort of puzzles can we expect?
Heightened senses is based on sort of auspex in the pen and paper. We like the idea that Far, almost as an elder, can access it whenever she likes. So we can use heightened senses to show you things that others couldn't see, almost
Be right back.
like sort of CSI, blacklight or whatever, clues, to hear things, in focus. In the mission, she could hear the music from greater distance when in heightened senses than she could otherwise. And in the maze at the end, it dulled out the fake noise, all of the Willems chattering to each other. They all got dulled out. And in the real noise, which was the music in the real world, she could hear. So it can help you in a situation like that actually see and hear reality. But yes, in other sections of the game, it can help you to see what a human would miss, right? Follow someone's trail, get evidence of what's happened there. And there's quite a few interesting puzzles that we've done across the games using heightened senses.
And I think this mission is a great example of a slightly more unusual version of our art direction in the lighting, the music, the style overall. There's books floating around. I think we punch one at one point. What kind of feeling do we want to kind of pump into that atmosphere?
Yeah, I mean, at this section of the game, we sort of call it the Monster of the Week section of the game. We want the missions to very much stand out before it becomes clear they're, becoming part of a large picture. But that...
Wait a minute. Okay, so I'm again. Adobe, why do you want to start popping up now? Why can't you do this after, Adobe? Why do you want to start doing this crap now? And see, now this is where I be hating when my OBS be freaking acting stupid like this. Because then I don't know if it's still recording or did it stop, but I don't see the light moving. But I see my figure moving. Because then I had to re-record this again. Come on, OBS. I didn't even, what the is you doing? I didn't even say take off my cam. OBS just be doing what it wants. Alright, there we go, we're back.
That you can't trust even your own senses, right? Up is down, red is blue.
Sorry about that delay. OBS was acting stupid.
Just making so the player is really on edge and not knowing what's going on. I hope when people come to play it, because obviously watching it, you're watching someone play through who still roughly knows what they're doing for the sake of the video.
Right.
I'm hoping, people are in there really sort of scratching their head, using their heightened senses, and then feeling clever when they figure out how to move forward, how to get out of there, how to get out of where this maze.
And we spent a lot of time talking to and learning about Willem. Could you go into a little bit about his place in the court and the Masquerade?
Yeah, so Willem is the secret keeper of the court. But at this point in the story, he's gone AWOL along with the secrets. So the court is in complete control of Seattle, right? The mayor is probably one of the court's ghouls, et cetera, et cetera. They've got dirt on all the people in the city, including other vampires. And to stop all of that information getting in the wrong hands, there's this role, which is the sort of secret keeper, but they keep it all memorized. Willem has all of the information effectively memorized, so when he disappears, their sort of ability to keep control over the city gets massively weakened. So hence it's so important that he be found, but also some of the secrets he has are very relevant to Fire, so she wants to find him.
As part of the court, Fire has found a place.
So I want to know, if you bite him, can you get his memories? I'm guessing probably not. You don't get his memories. He has to tell you. So you probably have to talk him down, because if you just let him get blown up, you don't get your answers. Because they rushed him and did the dialogue and rushed him to get dialogue out. I mean, they rushed him to get it out.
And is doing missions for the Camarilla. Could you tell us about her title and what capacity she's doing these things?
Yeah, so relatively early in the story, Fire has to get an inroads with the Camarilla, and she does a mission which ultimately results in her becoming the sheriff, which is an official role within the court, and it's pretty cool. I don't think we've got to play that in other video games at least. And the sheriff ultimately upholds the Masquerade and will do, certain quite important, maybe dirty jobs, like finding the secret keeper who's run off. But it also gives Fire great privilege. As the sheriff, she can talk to anyone, and everyone kind of has to give her respect. Should sort of follow along with the letter of the law and obey her. Obviously, we have different factions in the city, some who respect the Camarilla, some who don't. So she will get some reacting in her favor because she's
sheriff. You see me doing this, is this me trying to make sure my camera's focusing?
But yeah, so she's a very pivotal role in the Seattle court, and that's very much for her own means. Once it gets her the cover and support of the Camarilla, they're not going to be fighting and working against her. But two, it puts her in perfect position to investigate the information she wants to know, which is how she ended up in Seattle and how she ended up with the Mark-on and her abilities taken away.
We had some dialogue options that kind of fed into Fire's legend. Could you tell us about what kind of control we have over her backstory?
Yes, so you're going to come across lots of different vampires and characters who haven't met Fire, but they've heard of Fire. She's very famous, effectively a legend,
the Nomad, right?
In the Nomad and other names. And then as a player, when someone tells you one of these legends they've heard about you, you could validate it and lean into it. Fire very much uses it there to intimidate Willem. You could correct them that it isn't true if you feel that doesn't either fit your character or because you maybe wish to manipulate your legend. Because Fire's never saying what her backstory is, everybody else is, the player can then choose the true canon of Fire by accepting what they're hearing, essentially. So we thought it was a cool way to have a more defined character, like you would say in a BioWare game, but not just I pick the backstory at the start and that's it. Have as you go, being able to pick and choose and shape your legend.
Awesome. And we will be sharing as much as we can about the new disciplines that you can see for each playable clan. If you want to see as much as possible about Bloodlines 2 and the stuff that we're sharing, you can find us at the Chinese Room on all of our social media. But until next time, thank you.
Thank you.
Alright, everybody, that's that deep dive or extended gameplay of the Bloodlines 2. We don't have a release date, but it said it's supposed to come out in the fall, so I'm thinking of, I guess the best time to release it would be in October since it's Halloween around that time. If y'all into vampire games, let me know what's y'all favorite vampire game. I haven't played a lot of vampire games. The only two I've played was the Vampire Masquerade Swan Song and Vampire, which I enjoy playing both of them. And I'll put them in the link in the description and in the tab bar on that side or this side. I'm trying to think what else. I might get it on the Switch. They put it on the Switch, the Vampire the Vampire Masquerade Swan Song on the Switch. I might get it so I can play it on the Switch and see how different. I mean, I know it's not going to be as different, but I know the graphics and all that's probably going to be a little toned down. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Would y'all want me to play Swan Song on the Switch? Because I've been looking to play Switch games, and I haven't. The last Switch game I played was Pokemon. Pokemon Legend of Arceus, where it's like a Japanese style based game. But I did not like playing it. At first I did, and then I didn't when I started playing it more and more. Let me know in the comments below. When you're down there, make sure you bite that like button. Bite that subscribe button. Become a member of the Vampire Army because all we are is getting bigger. Because all we are is in a feeding frenzy for blood. It's been your boy, London VK Alucard. Yep, London VK Alucard. And I'll see y'all for the next reaction. I want to thank y'all for coming by with React with Alucard. Take care. Peace.